Hello, thank you for being here. I am creating a video about the channel memberships that you have joined, that you're a part of. And it's new, perhaps you already know this. And because it's new, the membership is just getting off the ground. And so we have a few members. I think in this moment, there's 10 members. And so I want to just say thank you very much that you're the first group of people who are coming into this memberships. I have been in the process of trying to figure out what is the direction that I want to take the membership and what specifically would be helpful to you in the spirit of what do you need? What do you want? So I thought that on this video, I've had some time to think about it, and I wanted to share this idea of integration and this idea of unification, a wholeness coming together. Because many of us, when it has to do with relationships, and underneath the umbrella of relationships that I like to talk about is attachment trauma. And then underneath this umbrella of attachment trauma are all of these different dynamics and challenges and symptoms and behaviors around trying to get our attachment needs met and what are the obstacles that get in the way. So that can show up in partner relationships, that can show up in friend relationships, that can show up in family relationships, that can show up at work, and then it also influences how we feel about ourselves. And many of us, I'm using these words like fragmented and scattered and disconnected, which is not unique to those of us with any kind of attachment injury, history, or attachment wounds, but we have a propensity, a potential to more quickly implode and lose our sense of self, our voice, our presence, our power in relationships. That the intimacy and vulnerability undermines our own sense of grounded knowing and being able to stay present and show up. And what happens, many of us can unravel when we are in intimate relationships. Now, this then also has a rather broad context and levels and degrees of how this shows up. And then there are a series of symptoms and behaviors of how we try to manage it or cover it up or move beyond it. And all of these ideas are important for me to talk about, or I think it's important to talk about, and I like talking about them, and I think that's why you initially, or some history, have seen my videos and resonate with the content. Now, the challenge is that then the content for me, even personally, looking back on my previous videos, as well as like figuring out like, how do I make videos today and what direction do I want to go? And how have I changed and I evolved? And what aspect of the messages plural, do I want to bring together back to this word integration and unification? And I say the word integration because that's a common word that shows up when we're healing attachment injuries, attachment wounds, and attachment trauma. And I say those three words because I think of them in a continuum of potentially degrees or intensity and their impact on our life, that injuries can move into deeper wounds, and deeper wounds that are ignored, go unattended, don't find healing or relief and release, then they start coding themselves in our nervous system and our brain as trauma, attachment trauma. And then that dovetails with a body of information about working with trauma in general and trauma in our mind and in our nervous system, and what are the behaviors and the symptoms that show up when you have attachment trauma. And it means that when you're in a intimate, vulnerable situation where you're voicing your needs, or you need to be open and reveal yourself, that in and of itself is the trigger, that triggers a doubt, a panic, an anxiety, hyperarousal, hypervigilance, a feeling of like intrusive thinking and thoughts, a preoccupation, inability to stay present and focused, dumbing down your needs, not being able to voice your needs, forgetting that you have needs at all. And over time, this can take hold of us to the point where we feel we've lost our sense of self. We've lost our way. Now, that's why I'm making this membership section, and I want to create playlists and organize the content and put it under different umbrella headings and silos, and really create, with your help as far as feedback of what videos resonate, which ones don't, and how we begin to create essentially a library of structured videos that are going to speak to this very, what can be complex, layered experience of living with attachment wounds. And ultimately, it needs to go in the direction of not talking about the experience of living with attachment wounds, but talk about the skills and name the very specific learning, the areas the tools, the skills we need to learn in order to evolve and grow, and to, when we feel fragmented, when we have lost our sense of center, and when we're feeling triggered through intimacy, through relationship, what are the skills that we use and rely on? And I want my videos to be more skill forward, more skill focused. And in the truest sense of the word membership, is that I'm looking to make this a very unique experience where I want to know what you need when it comes to relationships. So the cohesion and the skill building is the focus. And this is going to show up as different content playlists. I'll make another video coming up with really explaining some of the very specific areas of how I'm beginning to break this down. And in the meantime, I welcome you. Share a comment. Let me know why you're here. Let me know what kind of videos that you would hope to hear and watch. And I am creating a master spreadsheet of all this information. And with the power of AI, it will be very easy for me to put in this master spreadsheet and begin to see the themes as they surface. So thank you for being here. I hope that what I shared, as far as like trying to hone in on the type of content I like to talk about and who I think my audience is, I hope that that resonates with you, because I imagine if it doesn't, you're hearing this video, well, that's not me. What are you talking about? So I do want to know of the areas that I shared, specifically how we can lose ourselves in relationship, if that is your experience, and if we have found each other, because that is the audience that I'm hoping to offer support to and continue to have deeper, richer conversations. We are in a world with the videos and short videos and social media that is so, and I'm going to share a judgment. It's not a unique judgment. Many of us have this judgment, but everything is just so fast and fast food and potato chip, and it really doesn't offer any nourishment. And there's a lot of pressure that I've experienced as a creator of videos to figure out the system to, on an assembly line, really dole out content. And I bring my experience, not only talking, my personal history around relationships and attachment distress and attachment wounds, and where I also am learning how to work with attachment trauma in my adult relationships, and had to really learn what skills do I need to work with my triggers and my nervous system dysregulation. There's also a parallel theme of I have been feeling very scattered in the type of videos that I offer because the content is so broad. And so by creating this membership, it's also a way for me to integrate my own experience of just how do I create videos. And something that I want to practice not getting sucked into is the treadmill machine and the tired, exhaustive produce, which is what content creation and social media has favored, and it's a recipe for burnout. So by creating this membership subscription for this channel, it's a way of creating a buffer for me so that we can really go deeper into the areas that we want to explore without feeling rushed or like I need to create a slick video that's going to perform and get a lot of views. Because these are going to be videos for you here in the membership. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. And I have more videos like this one, but I wanted to give you an idea, an update of what we're doing. And hopefully you're in the right place. Let me know if you're in the right place. Okay. See you.